Ladies and gentlemen, I'm IWN, and this is your AEW Dynamite review for September 9th, 2022. This week's episode of Dynamite was really good. It's one of the best Dynamites we've ever gotten. Wardlow retained his TNT Championship over Toni Nese. Daniel Garcia is still a babyface, seemingly. And speaking of Daniel Garcia, he actually defeated Yuta to win the AEW, the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. So again, he was able to defeat Yuta to win the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. They got Toni Storm winning over Penelope. We got MJF cutting that amazing promo, as well as Chris Jericho cutting his promo and giving his thoughts on the backstage bullshitting drama that was going on. And, you know, after the media scrum. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, it's a beautiful day outside. And it's not often we get beautiful days like this outside, man. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it storms, sometimes it's sunny. The weather changes on its own. That's how it is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now tuning into the live chat, if you're just now tuning into the Dynamite review, thank you for joining. I hope you will be able to enjoy your time here in the live chat with me, and I'm gonna make sure I make this review the best it's gonna be. I mean, even though it is gonna be one of my best reviews on the channel, despite nobody being here, I don't care. I'm gonna continue the review whether nobody's here or not. It should have been done Wednesday night, but I changed my mind. I was really, really tired and I needed some sleep, so I pushed the Dynamite review to Friday afternoon. After this, folks, I'm going to be streaming some WWE 2K22, and then, actually, after this, I'm going to be scheduling my Friday night SmackDown watch along, and then I'm going to be streaming WWE 2K22. And then that's when the SmackDown watch along is going to be live. Because I haven't even finished showcasing some of the male and female talents on that roster on the game yet. You know, we've already showcased talents like AJ Styles, Angelo Dawkins, you know, A-Kid, and so much more on that video game. I just wish they would have put 2K Central Towers on there like they did on WWE 2K20. It would have been great if they put that on there. I mean, I understand they want to make the game overall feel different, but let's be honest, the game looks the same to me. Except the controls have changed. And new talents have been added in the DLC to the game. You know, talents like Xia Li, Omos, Commander Aziz. People that we barely see on TV. We haven't seen Saray on TV for the last few weeks. I don't know where she is. Probably in catering. Ain't no telling. But anyhow, this is your Dynamite review. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And make sure you turn on that bell for all notifications so you don't miss any of my AEW Dark Elevation, AEW Dark, and Friday Night SmackDown watch-alongs that go live each and every single week. And so you don't also miss my Friday Night SmackDown, Rampage reviews, and Dynamite reviews that are live every week as well. And also another reason why you should have on your notifications is so you will get notified on when those watch-alongs go live, on when my review goes live on the IWN YouTube channel. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. That's where I post all of my thumbnails and all of my comments and information on there. I post my YouTube content on Facebook and Instagram. I would post it on Twitter, but all my Twitter accounts have been suspended. I tried to submit an appeal. They declined it. Rightfully so. I don't even care about Twitter anymore. Fuck Twitter and their stupidity. I mean, I don't know how and why they won't give me my Twitter account back. I don't get it. I tried to be good on Twitter, but you know, you got all these WWE geeks and all these trolls in the community. I always wanted to defend WWE instead of defending the truth, you know. And the truth is that when Vince and Bruce ran WWE, the shows were complete garbage every week. We don't need 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. We didn't need 3 hours of SmackDown. Come on. Really? Their creative definitely sucked. And their political agendas sucked. Now that Triple H had creative talent relations, things are slowly starting to get better. I'm just going to say it like that. If you guys haven't checked out my AEW All Out 2022 watch along, go check that out, man. We killed it on there. It was a banger. I got 18 likes on there and 1 quadrillion views. And I just want to say thank you to those people who joined the live chat, who chatted with me, man. I had a good time, even though we had a troll creating 4 or 5 accounts, ruining the live chat, ruining my freaking watch along, saying wrestling is fake. Clearly it's not. Clearly wrestling is real and it's scripted. Don't listen to people like that. People like that are trolls. People like that are scammers, man. They'll do anything to fucking ruin what you do on the channel. If you see any trolls in your live chat saying wrestling is fake, effective, immediately remove them. They are nothing but fucking dick riding bitches. Anyways. They got nothing better to do than to get in the fucking live chat and shit all over your channel and say, oh, subscribe to Ticket TV. That fucking shit out of my chat, man. Subscribe to Ticket TV. The fuck is that? That's like saying subscribe to Impact Wrestling. Impact. Like anybody watches Impact. Seriously, man. Anyways, don't even get me started there. We're gonna go ahead and get to the AEW review. The AEW Dynamite review, man. There was something I loved about this week's episode of Dynamite. I can't figure out what it is. I think it's the fact that Garcia, yes, my favorite part about Dynamite, now come to think of it, when I mentioned Daniel Garcia's name, my favorite part about this week's episode of Dynamite was the fact that Daniel Garcia finally got to defeat Wheeler Yuta to become the new Ring of Honor Pure Champion. But you got to be honest, there's too many titles on AEW. Too many titles. I've said this for 2 weeks. Too many titles. Some of those titles need to stay off of TV because there's too many. Too many. Tony Khan should be focused on the AEW titles, not focused on the Ring of Honor titles. The Ring of Honor titles should be shown on Ring of Honor television, not AEW television. Just saying. I'm not trying to act like dog shit. I'm not trying to be no fucking version around, man, but I'm just speaking truth, man. Seriously. I am just speaking the truth. MJF, Chris Jericho, their promos were great. Their promos are always great on AEW. I mean, it shouldn't surprise anybody here. The fact that Wardlow gets to continue his TNT champion reign is great. I was going to say championship, but same thing, pretty much. Same word. So, AEW Dynamite pretty much kicks off with Jon Moxley interrupting MJF's return promo. So, Tony Khan made it a major announcement to start the show. He has vacated the AEW World and Trios Championships. Rightfully so. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that person lost their AEW World Championship? Whose fault is that their AEW World Championship got vacated? CM Punk's. Whose fault is that they got their fucking trios championships vacated? Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. CM Punk, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks got exactly what they deserve. Good. Goodbye. Get out. Get out. Get out. Maybe CM Punk would have kept his fucking mouth shut in the fucking media scrum about Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, Adam Page, and Coca Penta. Maybe he would have still been AEW World Champion right now. If Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks would have not countered him, if Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks would have just walked away from him, if Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks would have just fucking ignored him, maybe they would still be AEW Trios Tag Team Champions right now. But no, CM Punk and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks wouldn't listen, and it ended up being a backstage brawl, and Ace Steel ended up being involved. And now there's news that MJF was seemingly involved in this backstage brawl. I'm not really that surprised, given MJF's history with CM Punk and Adam Heyman Page. I'm not surprised at all. I don't even think he was involved. I don't even think he was there. I don't even think he was there. I think that to me is false news. It's the first time I'm ever saying that that's false news. I think it's absolute false news, man. The fact that they said MJF was a witness to CM Punk's backstage brawl with the Elite, false news to me. That right there is false news. I don't even think he was back there at all. I really don't think he was back there. And I'm going to go over that news as well, folks, because I want you guys to know this. Because this right here sounds like absolute false news to me. I don't know about you guys. Anyhow, the later would be determined later in the show when Death Triangle faced Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. The world title would be determined in a tournament featuring Jon Moxley, Heyman, Adam Page, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Bryan Danielson, and Chris Jericho. Of course, this is AEW's top stars that they've named in this tournament. So the new number one contender, MJF, hit the ring with a ton of energy, sporting a Josh Allen jersey and carrying himself like the world's biggest babyface. He was almost unanimously positive before Moxley interrupted. Mox answered MJF's invadable heel turn on the crowd with an impassioned promo that insistently ranked among the best of his entire career and left the fans on their feet and the commentary team admitting to goosebumps. This was exactly what this show needed, given everything that has happened in the last few days during and after the media scrum. Relying on the company workhorses like Moxley and MJF to pretty much win the crowd over and deliver big time on the mic was the right call. Legitimately. Tony Khan deserves blame for the creative shortcomings of late. Yeah, he really does. He really does. I mean, but at the end of the day, Tony Khan finally stepped up and said, hey, you know what? I'm overseeing this situation. Now it's time to fucking fire CM Punk, suspend CM Punk, strip CM Punk of his reign as AEW World Champion. Now it's time to fucking get the trios championships off of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and it's time for them to go. CM Punk, gone. Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, gone. Ace Steel, gone. Gone. Absolutely gone. And that's not all. That's not everybody that was gone. That's not everybody. There were other people involved in that backstage brawl that were gone too. And I'm not going to tell you their names because I've already given their names to you. I've given their names to you during the AEW Dark Watch Along. Remember, I went over the news. I went over the news on AEW suspending everyone involved in the backstage brawl on my AEW Dark Watch Along. Remember that? Yeah, I gave you those names. I'm not giving those names again. Okay, you're just gonna have to watch my AEW Dark Watch Along and find out who all got suspended, who all that were involved in that backstage brawl that got suspended. Now, Tony Khan deserves blame for the creative shortcomings as of late, but to his credit, he chose right with the booking of this segment and the announcement regarding the titles. Folks, if you're enjoying this review, hit that thumbs up. Let's get at least 6 likes on the stream. That's our like goal for this Dynamite review. Let's get 6 likes on the stream. I really appreciate it. Let's get some more people in here because this chat seems dead right now, and I hate a dead live chat. I don't like to see a dead live chat. I really don't. Okay? I'm just being honest. I need my audience in here, man. I need my support. Where's my support? Where is my support? Hit that fucking thumbs up, folks. Subscribe if you're new. Now, if I was to grade this promo, I'd get this an A+. This was really outstanding from NJF and Jon Moxley. This was really, really great. I fully enjoyed this. I was off work Wednesday. I watched Dynamite. It was a really great show. Buffalo, the Devil's back. MJF said, I was just kidding, guys. I love AEW. I'm never leaving this place. Buffalo, I'm not telling you. I'm Moose's. That's ridiculous. I'm better than Moose's, he said, suggesting that he can be the leader for the AEW locker room. John, I don't know if you're a little woozy because you went to sleep on Sunday. MJF slide one reference to CM Punk into the promo. Maybe I take that time or that title to a real wrestling company with real fans and real wrestlers, like my friend and hero, the American Roller, Cold Stare, Cody Rhodes, MJF teased going to WWE working for Nick Khan and Triple H. Nick Khan, give me a fucking break. With a huge grin on his face the whole time. Oh yeah, by the way, Nick Khan, no relation to Tony Khan. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Bryan Danielson, a better wrestler than I will ever be. Moxley gave props to his Blackpool Combat Club teammate prior to the upcoming tournament. Great stuff here, man. Great stuff. Now, I'm predicting we're either getting MJF versus Jon Moxley for the Dynamite Grand Slam or MJF versus Adam Heyman Page for Grand Slam. You know what? I think we're getting MJF versus Jon Moxley for Grand Slam, and I think we're getting MJF versus Adam Heyman Page for AEW Full Gear. I think that's the way to go about it as far as creative, right direction, and right decision goes. It'll be the right decision to book MJF and Jon Moxley for Grand Slam. MJF versus Adam Heyman Page for Full Gear. So we got the AEW Trios Championship match. Death Triangle versus Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. 2 trios featuring 6 competitors who have been with AEW since day one. Clash to determine new AEW World Trios Champions this Wednesday on Dynamite, as Death Triangle's pack Penta, El Zorro, Miedo, and Rey Fenix battle Orange Cassidy and Best Friends Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor. This was the high energy spot heavy match we've come to expect out of trios wrestling in AEW, with some great intensity shown by Pac and not nearly enough from Cassidy. Now, a trio of Canadian destroyers by Death Triangle proved to be different as they stunned the opponent, the opposition, allowing the Lucha Bros to wipe out Taylor and Cassidy at ringside, while the Bastard finished Taylor off with the Black Arrow to claim the titles. That was a beautiful, I'm not going to say beautiful, but that was a fantastic Black Arrow by Pac. That was absolutely fantastic, man. Absolutely great, absolutely brilliant. It's one of the best Black Arrow finishers I've ever seen from Pac. Now, Death Triangle are a great trio and a consistently great act for AEW. They can be relied on to carry their side of things once the bell rings. So it makes sense that the company would be comfortable putting the titles on with them. With that said, this really should have been Best Friends and Cassidy's crowning moment. They have been as steady and over as in any act in the company, any act in the promotion, with freshly squeezed among the most popular since day one. They have always been bridesmaids, though. Since day one. The opportunity was there. The opportunity was really, really there to rewind them, to reward them for their hard work, but it was missed. It was really, really missed. So Pac inhabited predictable aggression as he stomped away at Cassidy, with the history between them being no secret to longtime AEW fans. Talk about moments. A confrontation between Danhausen and Alex allowed Freshly Squeezed to fight back into the match and make a much-needed tag. Now, Death Triangle uncorked a trio of Canadian destroyers to set up the finisher. Wow. That was some great Canadian destroyer moves there from those guys. I would not be surprised if we get Death Triangle versus versus Andrade's faction for Grand Slam. That would be a great match. Or even if we get it for AEW Full Gear. I mean, obviously, I think the Death Triangle and Andrade faction feud is continuing going forward. I would love to see Death Triangle versus Andrade's faction for AEW Grand Slam. That'd be the way to go about it, I think. It would be a great 3-on-3 triple threat match for the AEW Trios Championships. They should do a 3-on-3 tornado tag match for the AEW Trios Championships to where Pac, Rey Fenix, and Penta could be in the ring, all wrestling Andrade, Rush, and Dragon Lee all at the same time. I think they need to convince Dragon Lee to join their faction, to be a heel. Andrade and Rush. They need to. They really do. It would be great. It'd be great to have Dragon Lee in their faction. It makes sense. Since Death Triangle are now the AEW Trios Tag Team Champions. Makes sense to have Dragon Lee to join the Andrade faction because that's Rush's brother. I don't know if that's his real life brother or not, but yeah. So we'll see what next week's Dynamite brings us as far as that goes. So we go from there to the AEW Interim Women's World Championship Eliminator match. Toni Storm versus Penelope Ford. And I'm still sticking by the fact that Jamie Hayter should have been AEW Interim Women's Championship. It should have been the right creative decision, should have been the right direction, and it should have been the right call. I don't think Toni Storm was even ready to be AEW Interim Women's Champion from the start. I think Jamie Hayter was more than ready to be AEW Interim Women's Champion, more than Toni Storm, because Jamie Hayter was the one that was being built up to that point. I feel like Toni Storm just wasn't built up enough to that point. Oh, I'm a huge fan of Toni Storm too, but I really think it would have been the right decision to put the title on Jamie Hayter. The way I see it, we would have got a Jamie Hayter versus Thunder Rosa rematch for a Grand Slam. I think the original plan should have been Jamie Hayter versus Thunder Rosa. Should have been Thunder Rosa defending her AEW World Women's Championship versus Jamie Hayter. That should have been the original plan for All Out. It should have never been Thunder Rosa defending her AEW World Women's Championship versus Toni Storm. They're both baby faces. You got to have a heel. You got to defend that title against a heel, not a baby face. It makes no sense defending that title against a baby face. We know Toni Storm to be a heel in the past in WWE, but still, come on, man. Jamie Hayter would have been the right choice. That way, Jamie Hayter would pick up the victory over Thunder Rosa to win that AEW World Women's Championship. And we won't have to worry about having a AEW Internal Women's Championship if Thunder Rosa wasn't injured. If she would have not been injured, we would have got Thunder Rosa defending her AEW World Women's Championship against Jamie Hayter. And they would have never needed an AEW Internal Women's Championship. They would have never needed that. Still should have been Jamie Hayter, man. Still should have been Jamie Hayter. Now, on the heels of the biggest win of her young career, in which she defeated 3 other women to become interim AEW Women's World Champion, which, in my opinion, was one of the worst decisions that AEW has ever come up with. I mean, no offense. That's just the way I see it. That's just my opinion. Toni Storm battled Penelope forward in a championship elimination or eliminator match. Something tells me we are getting Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter for Grand Slam. You guys thinking what I'm thinking? Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter for Grand Slam? I think that's the way to go about it, because Thunder Rosa is not coming back from injury no time soon. It only makes sense. It kind of does make sense, but it doesn't make sense, because the original plan should have been Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter, and not Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm. That should have been the original plan. And then you would have Jamie Hayter win the AEW Internal Women's Championship. And then we get Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter for a Grand Slam. For Dynamite Grand Slam. Or for Rampage Grand Slam. I could see Jamie Hayter becoming the first ever AEW Undisputed World Women's Champion. It just makes sense. The story is there. The build is there. The match is there. It makes sense creatively. It just does. In so many ways. The chemistry is there. Now, the 26-year-old found herself on the defensive early and often in the match with a game forward, working over a Storm who was still recovering from an intensely physical contest Sunday in Chicago. However, the anti-potent gutted through it, encountered a Northern Light suplex into a DDT for the win. Now, it was a nice showcase for Storm and a reminder that Ford is a valuable contender in the women's division. But most of the match happened during the picture-in-picture break, something that has plagued this particular roster since day one. Toni Storm is a big deal, but she did not feel like one here in her first appearance with the interim time. She earned better than that, even if she still went over. And I still think Jamie Hayter should have been AEW Interim Women's Champion. I just explained why. I'm not going to explain it again. Not repeating myself again. I will save it for the video on who is Jamie Hayter in the original plan, and why I think the original plan should have been Thunder Rosa defending her AEW World Women's Championship against Jamie Hayter. I'm going to do a video on that, and I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain it As simple as I can. And it's going to involve Britt Baker's name mentioned in the video. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, I got some bad things to say about Britt Baker. I'm telling you right now. Especially after she cost Jamie Hayter to that pin. Oh, I was fucking pissed. I was fucking pissed from watching that match on my AEW All Out 2022 watch along. Watch again on my other laptop, man. Holy shit. I was so mad about that. God, that pissed me off. Jamie Hayter deserves so much better in AEW, man. I feel like AEW is wasting her at this point. I really do. Why would you waste somebody like Jamie Hayter? Somebody that should have already been AEW champion. Somebody that should have already been the TBS champion. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why would they waste somebody like Jamie Hayter on TV? I don't get it. It's just hard for me to question why they would do that. After the match, the Acclaimed entered the arena to a thunderous ovation, only to be interrupted by Swerve Strickland. A brief exchange served as a hype job for Dynamite Grand Slam on September the 22nd. I wonder if we're going to get to buy Dynamite Grand Slam or not. Makes me wonder. Makes me question. Now, I'm going to create the Grand Slam thumbnail early. That's what I'm going to do. So, I'm assuming we're getting the Acclaim versus Swerve in its glory for Dynamite Grand Slam. I think that's going to be the match going forward. Because it seems like this Acclaimed and Swerve in its glory feud is continuing. Heading towards Grand Slam. Which will be in 2 weeks, I believe. Now, backstage, Toni Schiavone interviewed Chris Jericho, who said, "This is my effing locker room." In other words, he said, "This is my fucking locker room, and no one is taking it away from me, ever." In a response to the drama of the last few days, "We don't like turtles," Jericho exclaimed randomly, but hilariously. I don't know if I will say that's hilarious or not, but I think Jericho was just simply making a point. The way I see it. So the TNT champion Wardlow defended his title against Tony Nese this Wednesday night on Dynamite. Tony Nese, who was, accompanied by Mark Sterling. You know, that guy, the guy that looks like Bobby Roode, sort of. He looks like the younger version of Bobby Roode. He's in shape like Bobby Roode. Whatever. Anyway, it went about as well as you would expect this match to be. Now, Wardlow steamrolled the super athlete, putting him away with 3 consecutive powerbombs. Afterward, Josh Woods saved both Nese and Sterling from further punishment. But it was a post-match promo for Wardlow that stood out. Answering critics who suggest his momentum is gone, he reminded the audience that this is Wardlow's world. It was intense, no nonsense, and set him up to be the destructive force he was before he took a backseat in recent months. So Nese started the match by suggesting Wardlow tighten up his pegs. According to the commentary team, he paid for it quickly. Darby Allin cut a pre-taped promo challenging Sammy Guevara to show up to their world title tournament match Friday on Rampage by himself. We don't know. He may not. We'll see. We'll find out this Friday on Rampage. So we got the Grand Slam Tournament of Champions. We got Adam Heyman Page versus Daniel Bryan. Adam Heyman Page, someone that should have also been suspended and gone. I don't understand how you would not suspend somebody like Adam Heyman Page. I mean, clearly he was involved. He was involved in this CM Punk, Adam Heyman's beef. Clearly, he has something to do with the backstage brawl between Elite, Young Bucks, and CM Punk. So why would they not suspend, fire somebody like Adam Heyman Page? I don't get. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there. I mean, he was on the Elite and Kenny Omega's side. They were against CM Punk after what CM Punk said in the media scrum. Adam Heyman Page was. He was against him. And let's not forget, Adam Heyman Page cut that disrespectful promo to CM Punk in the ring. That right there alone should have told you right there that Adam Heyman Page should have been suspended and fired. Come on. You don't cut promos like that on TV. Come on, man. That's just ridiculous. Give me a fucking break. Anyways, for the third time in AEW history, Bryan Danielson and Adam Heyman Page battle in a high-stakes singles match with the winner facing Chris Jericho in a Grand Slam Tournament of Champions next week. Of course, Daniel Bryan was the one that picked up the victory over Page, and I'm going to tell you how that went. So, this bout was not as long or dramatic as their previous encounters, but it had still had the fans in Buffalo popping for the near falls and false finishers down the line. It didn't end with an empathetic finisher, but rather Danielson out wrestling Heyman with an O'Connor roll. It sets up Daniel versus Jericho in the semifinals, a match that should attract an audience next week. So we're pretty much getting the rematch between Jericho and Daniel Bryan. Let's not forget, that match took place at AEW All Out. Now it's taking place on either Dynamite or Rampage. I'm assuming it's going to take place on Dynamite next week. On next week's episode of Dynamite, matter of fact. So where Page goes from here remains to be seen. But as one of the of AEW who isn't suspended, don't be surprised to see Tony Khan lean on him in a key role. I can't believe Adam Page didn't get suspended. He should have been suspended. He was involved in this backstage brawl. He was involved. He called it a disrespectful promo to CM Punk. How can you not? Like I said, I'm going to say it again. How can you not suspend somebody like that? I don't get it. I don't understand it. So there was a tepid crowd reaction to Page, as though the fans in Buffalo were not sure if they wanted to embrace or reject him. Danielson hung Heyman up in the corner, unloading on him with his trademark kicks to the chest. He added a baseball slide for good measure. Page delivered a dead eye for a close near fall. So, you want to talk about top moments? That right there was top moments. That right there is as top moment as you're going to get from those two guys. Now, hometown hero Daniel Garcia challenged Wheeler Yuta for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship in the main event at KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. That happens to be Daniel Garcia's hometown, while their previous encounters have been more cerebral and methodical. This was fought with a greater sense of urgency, and the result was an easier to follow contest that wasn't bogged down by the unnecessary pure wrestling rules. The crowd was completely behind Garcia, treating Wheeler like the biggest heel in the building for reaching for the ropes and then catching his opponent with a closed fist punch. And by the way, folks, after the review we got some AEW Friday night afternoon news coming out of Dynamite that took place in Buffalo, New York this Wednesday night to go over, including news on Malakai Black, Jack Hager signing contract, Christian undergoing surgery, as well Punk and Kris Statlander, and AEW booking 2 huge title matches for Dynamite Grand Slam. We're going to go over all that, plus AEW's full gear plan for MJF. We're going to go over all that as soon as the review ends, which is about to end, because I'm about to end it with this. The crowd was completely behind Garcia, treating Wheeler like the biggest heel in the building for reaching for the ropes and then catching his opponent with a closed fist punch. Garcia! Sí, tortilla! Yo, Mika! No, I'm just joking. Garcia winning via submission was the right call. Even if it was somewhat predictable, it solidified Bryan Danielson's claims that the 24-year-old is a professional wrestler and not a sports entertainer, and it provided the young competitor a signature win. The post-match was great. Absolutely great. Particularly the look of disbelief on Chris Jericho's face as he watched Danielson strap the title around the winner's waist, realizing he had likely just lost an associate and someone he can manipulate for his own benefit. Suddenly, the Jericho-Danielson match for next week's show carries more weight, given the tug of war for Garcia that has become one of the most prominent stories in AEW. One of the best stories in AEW. Great match between those two. Top moments. You want to talk about top moments of this match between Garcia and Wheeler Yuta? Garcia entered the arena while Buffalo rapper West Side Gun played him to the ring. That's some top moment notch right there. That's some notch top moments there, man. I'm telling you. That is top moments as you're going to get right there. That's the only top moments you'll get. Champion challenger unloaded with ear-shattering chops to each other's chests. Of course, we saw that from Ishii and Eddie Kingston back in the AEW All Out pay-per-view. We saw them. Do you know how many times that Eddie Kingston and Ishii traded chops to each other, man? Jesus Christ. That was like 30 fucking chops from counting. My goodness. That was a good fucking physical match between Eddie Kingston and Ishii back in over on AEW All Out pay-per-view. They killed it. Absolutely killed it, man. Yuta used the first of his rope breaks late in the match. Eddie Kingston versus Ishii might as well not even been a pre-show match. It might as well should have been in the official match. Might as well should have been a regular match instead of a pre-show match. Because that was good. I mean, that match lasted like, what, 5-6 minutes? Anyways, Yuta used the first of his rope breaks late in the match. Then followed it up with a warning. A warning for utilizing a closed fist. Garcia kicked out of the seatbelt pin that his opponent used to defeat him at Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor. Garcia and Yuta adhered to the Code of Honor with a post-match handshake while Bryan Danielson appeared and strapped the title around the new champion's waist. And ladies and gentlemen, and just like that, that is going to do it for the AEW Dynamite review. Now we're going to go over the news coming out of this Wednesday night's Dynamite. So, usually I start at the bottom, but we're going to start at the top because all this news is important for the Malakai Black, Jack Hager stands and fans in the community. It it's important for everybody to keep an update on the WWE and AEW news, which I actually keep you an update on the news myself, honestly. Okay. So, we are actually going to start. We're going to start with the news on All Elite Wrestling booking 2 huge title matches for Dynamite Grand Slam. That's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with the news on that. So give me some time and I will actually pull that up. There it is. All right. So here's the news on All Elite Wrestling booking 2 huge title matches for Dynamite Grand Slam. Here we go, guys. Listen up. It says here that AEW will return to the Arthur Ashe Stadium for the Grand Slam Special Edition of Dynamite on September the 1st, 2022. The Jacksonville-based promotion announced 2 matches for Grand Slam during Dynamite this week. It was announced that the finals of the Grand Slam Tournament of Champions will take place during the Grand Slam Special Edition of Dynamite. For those who didn't keep up, Tony Khan vacated the AEW World Championship during Dynamite this week after CM Punk's terrible fucking comments on the media scrum. Those comments led to him getting suspended and fucking fired. And I said it in the beginning of the live stream, and I said it on my AEW Dark watch-alongs, and I said it on my AEW Dark Elevation watch-along. CM Punk kept his mouth shut, and I got suspended. He got suspended anyway, due to his fucking big mouth, due to him calling out Adam Heyman Page and Cole Cabana, due to him calling out the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Gosh, CM Punk, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks were fighting backstage brawls. They were fighting backstage like a bunch of fucking 10, 12-year-old fucking versions, man. That was ridiculous. There was no need for them to fight after the media scrum. They should have just set their differences aside and walk away from each other. If this fight would have never happened, CM Punk would still be AEW World Champion. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks would still be AEW Trios Tag Team Champions. Jesus fucking Christ. There goes our 4 biggest stars in AEW. Gone. Fired. Goodbye. They were just like that. Goodbye, gone. Tony Khan finally stepped up as a leader and as a boss of AEW. Respectfully. I guess he was listening to me and JD and the fan base and the community. I guess he realized that, hey, it's time for me to make the right decision. It's time for me to make the right calls. It's time for me to do what's right. It's time to do what's right for the fans and for the IWC community audience. Time to give everybody what they want to hear. The news they want to hear, which is CM Punk, Young Bucks, Kenny Omega getting suspended, getting vacated their titles, and getting fired. Anyways, so Tony Khan booked the Grand Slam Tournament of Champions to determine a new world champion. Bryan Danielson defeated Adam Page to face Chris Jericho in the semifinals. We just went over that in the review. The winner of Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin will face Jon Moxley. Went over that as well. Both semifinals will take place on Dynamite next week. Plus, Swerve and Our Glory will once again defend their AEW World Tag Team Championships against the Acclaim at Grand Slam. We know that. Max Caster and Anthony Bowens were super over with crowd at All Out. We know that too because I was live with my AEW All Out 2022 watch along. So that's how I know they were super over with the crowd. Because the crowd was so loud, they sounded like the fucking Thunderdome geeks in the community. They sound like the Thunderdome geeks in the crowd. You know, when we used to get Thunderdome last year, when we had the SmackDown Thunderdome, Raw Thunderdome. Jesus fucking Christ, man. God, they were so loud. They were so loud, they about busted my fucking eardrums. Goodness gracious. So, Matt Caster and Anthony Bowens were super over with the crowd at All Out, but failed to beat Keith Lee and Mr. Swerve Strickland for the titles. Yeah, I said it. So what's on the card right now for that is the AEW World Championship match and the AEW Tag Team Championship match. That's the only two matches on the card right now. So, what are your thoughts on this story, folks? Your thoughts on the story? And what's your take on the story? Sign up in the live chats right now. What's your take on this story? On AEW booking two huge title matches for Dynamite Grand Slam. All right, moving on to the next news. There is some news on KRIS Statlander undergoing knee surgery. And I gotta tell you, it looks really bad. I feel really bad for KRIS Statlander. I really do. The fact that she injured her other knee could have her make the biggest, saddest decision ever, which is retire. I don't never want to see somebody like that retire. Somebody like that has so much potential in AEW. Hasn't even won the AEW World Championship yet. Hasn't even won the TBS Women's Championship yet. So, says that KRIS Statlander is certainly one of the veterans of the AEW Women's Division, as she has worked hard to gain a proper fan base in the company. Statlander previously had a paranormal gimmick and was billed as coming from the Andromeda Galaxy. It was one of her best fucking gimmicks ever. It was announced on Dynamite last month. KRIS Statlander suffered an injury and was subsequently pulled from the AEW Women's rankings. The injury happened very recently. Very recently. Statlander revealed she suffered a knee injury. Statlander spoke to Twitter recently and uploaded a photo of herself in a hospital bed, indicating that she underwent successful surgery, similar to what Toni Storm had to do. Similar to what Toni Storm had to underwent. It says here, and I quote from KRIS Statlander, "I must have been thinking of you when I got injured." She was talking about all of her Instagram and AEW fans. I must have been thinking of you when I got injured, because you make my knees weak. Statlander previously suffered an ACL injury in June 2020 and was out of action until April 2011. Now, I wish KRIS Statlander a speedy recovery. My thoughts and prayers go out to her, and hopefully she will come back healthy, better than ever. And I hope she returns sooner rather than later, because this seems like a real legit injury that could have forced her to retire. That's the absolute truth. So, do you guys like KRIS Statlander? Who's a fan of KRIS Statlander here in the live chat? Let me know if you are. I know I am. Her new gimmick is fucking great. Absolutely great. She got an upgrade. Remember when she previously came back, she had got an upgrade. New character, new gimmick, everything. I love it. She's doing the absolute best work of her career with her new gimmick, and she's gonna even better when she comes back from injury. So let me know in the comments below whether you like KRIS Statlander or not. I need to darn eat. I feel weak, which explains why I've been kind of stuttering a little bit during the review and after the review. I should have ate before I started the review, but I wanted to go ahead and get this review out the way. So you guys can hear me. I mean, I know I've been knowing more than what I'm saying, you know. You can understand what I'm saying. And you can always correct me anytime you want. Even if I get a word wrong, even if I get mad. So the next news we're going to go over is on CM Punk. Even though I don't want to go over it, we need to. So there's news on CM Punk undergoing surgery on torn arm muscle. CM Punk spilled pure viral on Colt Cabana, Adam Page, and the Young Bucks during the post AEW All Out Media Scrum. It was reported that Omega and the Bucks threatened to leave AEW over Punk's words after a huge backstage fight broke out. It broke out like a fucking 10-year-old, like a fucking 12-year-old. Broke out as if almost they're a bunch of geeks fighting over a fucking championship, fighting over a fucking dog. That's how bad the fight was. The fight broke out right after Punk left the media scrum. Through it all, CM Punk was injured anyway and needed to take time off. Ringside News, my sources, they are my only sources in the community. They exclusively reported that the AEW locker room is divided now. As previously reported, AEW has suspended everyone involved in the brawl. There was also the chance of Punk getting fired. Punk was also said to have suffered an injury during AEW All Out. While speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that Punk suffered an injury, likely off a tope move off the top, and he is likely to be out of action for 8 months. Shoot, he may not even return to professional wrestling in 8 months. He might just retire in 8 months. Might as well. It says here, and I quote, he may have already undergone surgery, but either way, he's undergoing surgery. It was not confirmed that it's a torn tricep, but it was confirmed it's a torn muscle on the arm. That's usually an 8-month recovery period. So he was gonna get stripped of the title anyway. CM Punk was also removed from AEW Dynamite's opening video, and he wasn't mentioned one bit throughout the show. So I guess we will all have to wait and see how AEW will fare without Punk. So guys, what is your take on the CM Punk drama? Let me know in the comments below. Now, there's some news on Christian Cage is undergoing huge surgery. Tell you, if it ain't one surgery, if it ain't one news on surgery, it's another news on surgery. Jesus Christ. Surgery, surgery, surgery on surgery on surgery. Man, what is going on with all these people getting injured? What's up with that? It's just like we're living on an undergoing surgery land. Jesus Christ. For real. This shit sucks when you have to give out news on people suffering injuries or people being out of action for months. What is going on with my screen? Live chat, can you tell me what's going on with the screen? Okay, the screen's fixed. Good. I don't know what the fuck happened there. That was weird. So, it says here that Christian Cage became one of the mainstays of AEW since debuting last year after being a mentor to Jurassic Express, who turned heel on Jungle Boy and engaged in a feud with him. Man, I gotta tell that Christian Cage and Jungle Boy match was the only worst match on the AEW All Out card. I did not like that match at all. It was fucking terrible. I'm not gonna lie to you. So he will undergo major surgery at All Out. Christian Cage defeated Jungle Boy in what was the worst match on the show, on the pay-per-view. It was a very short match after Luchasaurus turned heel on Jungle Boy before it all. As previously reported, this was because Cage was injured. Oh, no wonder why this match was fucking awful. There was no reason for this match to be fucking god awful, though. That's no fucking excuse there. I'm sorry. That's no fucking excuse, man. While speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted Christian Cage suffered an injury similar to CM Punk and will be out of action for a similar amount of time. It says here, and I quote, his injury may be the exact same injury as Punk, believed to be torn triceps. So we're talking again like an 8-month-ish, 6 to 9 months of being out. End quote. That was from Dave Meltzer. That's what Dave Meltzer said. I guess we'll have to wait and see what AEW has planned for Christian Cage once he returns. Until then, Jungle Boy will have to contend with Luchasaurus. So what is y'all's take on AEW's injury-filled roster? Sound off in the live chat, or sound off in the comments below when the stream ends. I would love to know that from you guys. I would really appreciate it. Now, there's some news on Jack Hager signing contract extension with All Elite Wrestling. We're going to go over that. So, it says here that Jack Hager was Jack Swagger in WWE. We know that. But he has been booked strong in AEW since his arrival. Now, the undefeated Bellator fighter is sticking around for even longer. Oh, really? As if AEW even needs him. The Inner Circle was one of the most dominant factions in the entire pro wrestling world. Jack Hager's inclusion into the faction pretty much certainly helped them because, well, they were dominant, as he is a legitimate MMA fighter, having competed in Bellator. While speaking to Alex McCarthy of Inside the Ropes, Chris Jericho revealed that Jack Hager has signed a contract extension with the company. It says here, and I quote, Jack Hager too, they all got contract extensions, end quote. That's what Chris Jericho said. So Chris Jericho is set to face off against Daniel Bryan on AEW Dynamite next week in the semifinals of the AEW World Title Tournament. So we'll have to see if he wins or not. I don't think he is. I think I'm going with Daniel Bryan on this one. I'm much of a huge fan of Daniel Bryan than I am with Chris Jericho. Just throwing it out there. So what is y'all's take on Jack Hager's AEW booking? Let me know in the live chat or in the comments below when once again the stream ends. Last two news we're going to go over is the news on Malakai Black pulling out a indie show due to mental health issues and AEW's full gear plan for MJF. We're going to go over the news on Malakai Black first before we get to the news on MJF's plan, or AEW's full gear plan for MJF, should I say. I kind of had it backwards there. Woo! I worked really hard this week, man. Kind of tired still. My brain ain't thinking right. My dog, she's probably back there ready to eat. I gotta feed my dog after this, and then I gotta schedule SmackDown Watch Along. Then I'll be streaming some WWE 2K20, and then I'll be live to SmackDown Watch Along. I'm expecting my biggest audience yet. I always have bigger audience on every SmackDown Watch Along. It seems like now. I mean, is that a good thing or what? I mean, clearly it's enough to tell you. It should be enough to tell everybody in the community that I'm doing something right with my channel. Seriously. Everybody enjoys the royalty music that I play in the background. Everybody enjoys seeing the background, seeing talents like Wardlow, MJF, Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker. Talents like Harushida in the background. Talents like Julia Hart on my background. Everybody enjoys seeing the overwhelming feel of these live streams, man. I make these backgrounds look great for a reason. I try to make my quality stand out great for a reason. Because I know people like you truly care about my channel. So it says here that MALAKAI debuted in AEW last year and destroyed Cody Rhodes in his first feud. He was the leader of the House of Black alongside Brody King and Buddy Matthews and found some mild success for a while. As previously reported, MALAKAI Black will be taking a very long break from pro wrestling as he has been dealing with a lot of mental issues. Northeast Wrestling announced Black will not appear at the September 9th Northwest Wrestling event due to health issues. It says here, and I quote, due to health issues, MALAKAI Black will not appear for Northeast Wrestling MV Scrappers this Friday night at Eastwood Field in Nile Sophia. It says hashtag Nile Sophia. I don't know what that is, but replacing him or AEW star Jay Lethal, and I don't know who the other one is. End quote. So other top matches for this show include John Morrison versus Brian Pillman Jr. Ooh, that's going to be a hell of a fucking match. That is going to be a great match. So Penta Ascaru versus Derek Dillinger. No relation to Ty Dillinger, by the way. Jerry Lawler versus Man Demi Elijah Dean. And more. So as previously reported, AEW has given a additional release to MALAKAI Black. I guess we will have to apparently wait and see whether he will ever return to AEW somewhere down the line or not. You never know. Anything's possible in professional wrestling. Anything's possible in sports entertainment. So, what do you think? What do you guys think of all this, man? Let me know. I want to know from you guys. And don't be shy to comment in the live chat. Some of you just watch and won't comment in the live chat. Let me know in the live chat what you think of all this, please. Please. I would really appreciate it. Your comments, as well as your thumbs up on the stream, and your support helps me out, and it helps out my channel many possible ways. You guys just don't get it. But you will sooner or later. That's all I'm saying to that. So the last news, the last AEW news we got coming out of Dynamite is on AEW's likely full gear plan for MJF. So AEW All Out had a lot to catch up on with the CM Punk talk at the All Out Media Scrum to the Elite, and Punk alongside Ace Steel getting involved in a fist fight caused changes to AEW Dynamite. The champions are stripped of their titles and they crowned the new AEW Trios champion during Dynamite. The show must go on and plans are still in motion. Exactly. AEW set up a championship tournament to crown the new AEW champion. My mouth is dry. I need some water. And I'm going to need to eat something when I end the stream because I am hungry and my head and my brain is not thinking right now. The finals will take place at the Dynamite Grand Slam event on September 21st. They will crown a new AEW World Champion. Fans saw the preliminary matches in the tournament this week when Bryan Danielson beat Hangman Page. Chris Jericho will face Danielson next week as the Wizard had a first round bye. Next week's Dynamite will see Jon Moxley face the winner of the Sammy Guevara vs. Darby Allin match from AEW Rampage. I think Sammy Guevara is going to win. It makes sense for Sammy Guevara to win because you get babyface versus heel. Babyface versus babyface makes no sense. I don't know why you would have Darby Allin win when Darby Allin, well, clearly Darby Allin and Moxley are both babyface. It makes sense for Sammy Guevara to win. And you know what? In that Daniel Bryan and Chris Jericho match, I think it makes sense for Chris Jericho to actually win that match. Even though I don't want him to win that match, even though I want Daniel Bryan to win that match. It's the right creative move, the right call, and it's the right decision. I'm all about rights, directions, and creative decision. I'm all about right calls, right decisions, right creative decisions, man. That's what I'm all about now. That's the new thing going forward, man. With me and my channel, man. I'm all about truth, speaking truth. I'm not all about telling lies like these fake wannabe podcasters and these fake wannabe YouTube content creators are. MJF was the winner of the Casino Battle Royal at AEW All Out. He will receive a title opportunity. And Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer said that the storyline will likely start in a fashion where Moxley faces MJF at AEW Full Gear in November. So I'm guessing MJF is going to be facing Adam Page at Grand Slam, maybe? I don't know. I'm guessing we're going to be getting MJF versus Adam Page after Full Gear. That's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing we're going to be getting that match in the pay-per-view, in the upcoming AEW pay-per-view after Full Gear. Hell, we may be getting it for, I don't even know what the next pay-per-view is after Full Gear, but the next pay-per-view after Full Gear, you can bet your ass we are definitely getting Adam Page versus MJF. Whether people like it or not. So it says here, and I quote from the Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer. It says, and I quote, "Yeah, I got the impression that Moxley wins the tournament on September 21st, and they go to Moxley and MJF in November Full Gear. It is up to those two guys to deliver. They're in a position where they have to come up with the right storyline. The show is riding on their back, most likely." End quote. So MJF is granted a title match, and with the war of words between Moxley and MJF at the start of the week's Dynamite, this week's episode of Dynamite, which was Wednesday night, this match seems to be written in stone to happen down the line. The only question is if MJF will make that jump to WWE, as he said during his promo on AEW Dynamite this week. What do you guys think will happen? I think he ends up staying with AEW. Because remember, he said he was going to be going to WWE in 2024, not 2023. So, anyways, that's going to do it. That's going to do it. That's going to be it for now. Well, folks, I'm getting the hell out of here, man. I hate saying the same things over and over again because that gets annoying from time to time sometimes. So. But if you guys enjoyed this review, please, I beg you, please hit that thumbs up. And hit that subscribe button if you're new. Hit that fucking thumbs up. I want to see likes on the stream. I don't want to see just one like. I want to see more than one like on the stream. I want to see at least 4 or 5 likes on the stream. Come on. Come on, man. You know you got respect for IWN. You know you love what IWN does on his channel. Come on. I deliver this content for a reason. There's a reason why I do what you guys want me to do on this channel, because you guys want to see it. You guys want to hear it. Simple answers. But anyways, I'm getting out of here. I will see you guys in the live chat for WWE 2K22, and I'll also see you guys in the live chat for my SmackDown watch along, which will be tonight. I'm getting ready to schedule my SmackDown watch along and get ready to do the thumbnails right now. I don't even know if I have time to stream WWE 2K20 or not, but you'll find out. Just make sure you have all your notifications so you'll know when I'm live. When whether I'm live streaming WWE 2K20 or not. You can bet your ass I'll be live at SmackDown watch along day that much. Anyways, I'm getting out of here, guys. Have a great start to your weekend. Or should I say, have a great start to your weekend. Enjoy the weekend. And take some time, if you're off work, those of you that are off work like me, if you smoke like me, take some time, go outside and smoke, and think about all the things you've done in your life, and just apply it to your daily routine, or apply it to your daily life, you know, because we got so many things going on out here that the police will never put a stop to. I don't know why, but always watch your surroundings when you're walking, because there could be a stalker behind you and you won't know it. You know what I mean? Anything happens in this world. Anything and everything. But anyways, I'll let you guys go. I got some stuff to do. I got this SmackDown watch along. I got the schedule. I got the SmackDown thumbnail and background I have to do. This week's episode of SmackDown should be a fine, good, decent episode. Should be. Anyways, stay safe always. I'll see you guys in the live chat for WWE 2K22. If I don't, I'll see you guys in the live chat for Friday Night SmackDown. Peace. I'm out of here. Stay safe always.